This episode of Your Morning Drive is brought to you by Fireworks Co-working. They are a creative co-working space located in Marietta, Georgia, focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. If you want to try out this beautiful space, this podcast room is just one of the many available rooms and spaces available for you and your company to work at. If you want to try them, you can. Use code DRIVE at checkout and you'll get a free day pass. So, if you're working from home, if you're working at an office that you don't have to go to, if you're tired of working at your kitchen table where you have to listen to your kids or your spouse or the lawn people in the outside cutting the grass and it's too loud for your Zoom meetings. Well, you don't have to worry about that. You can try out Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia. It's right down the street from Kennestone Hospital. They are the presenting sponsor of Your Morning Drive. They offer me a beautiful space for me to be able to record my podcast with all of the creators, business owners, and other individuals that I get the pleasure of interviewing, and they can be your home too. So either go to the space, tour the place with the staff, tell them Logan Lewis from Your Morning Drive sent you, or if you're booking online, again, use code DRIVE, DRIVE, for a free day pass to try the space. Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase. Hey friends, another partner of this podcast are the Patch Boys of North Atlanta. If you need top-notch drywall repair and renovation services, the Patch Boys of North Atlanta have you covered. With almost 300 five-star Google reviews, they're a fully insured, locally owned father and son team committed to quality. Their expert technicians deliver seamless repairs, and with the Reno Boys, they handle everything from drywall to full renovations. Plus, they give back by partnering with the Center for Family Resources to reduce childhood homelessness. Trust the Patch Boys of North Atlanta to take care of your home, start to finish. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan. I am your host today. As always, we are live from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. Before we get into the show today, could you do me a favor and send this show to one friend who needs it to start their day? You can send it to a friend, a coworker, a family member, your ex-girlfriend, somebody who needs this show to start their day. You can send them a link on a couple different places. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, YouTube, and Stage Dive. Shout out to Nick for starting that up. Stage Dive is like a partner of Your Morning Drive. So if you have Stage Dive, go ahead and hop on there and subscribe to Your Morning Drive. And if you don't know what Stage Dive is, go back a few episodes and listen to the interview I did with Nick Smith. It's good. And then if you want to do more than just following along on those platforms, you can follow on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. That's where you have show updates, episode announcements, clips, and many more things. My guest today was born and raised in Georgia with roots firmly planted in the local community. For years, he immersed himself in the automotive and motorsports industry, working with iconic brands like Harley Davidson and honing his craft at a custom shop. But life took an exciting turn when he joined Sunbelt Marketing just this year. And let's not forget his passion project, No Speed Limit, which started in 2021 and has been steadily evolving ever since. Please welcome my new friend, Jackson Gresham. What up, my guy?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, Logan. I'm doing good.
Stuff, man. Good stuff. It feels like there's a category of guests that I have on here that people will be like, well, what are they? Like, who are they? And I'll say, oh, well, they're just someone I've followed for some time. Yeah. And I've been like, this person seems interesting to me. So naturally, I'm just like, let's hang out. And instead of hanging out, like enforcing small talk at like a bar or something, it's like, why don't we do a podcast together?
Heck yeah, man.
Some people love it, some people hate it.
Right.
Some people are like, the pressure is there because there's a camera and there's microphones and stuff, but I mean, I get used to it.
It's one way to get to know one another.
It is. Yeah. It's what I'm getting to know you, and then so are potentially hundreds of other people.
Exactly. Hey, that's a good thing.
So I kind of danced around your origin, where you're from and everything. So give me your backstory. I mean, who is Jackson?
Man, you know, I grew up in Paulding County. I think you probably did as well. Is that right?
I lived around.
Kind of. Okay, gotcha.
So keep talking. I forgot my notebook here.
No worries at all. Yeah, I grew up in Paulding County, graduated high school from East Paulding, and then obviously just started the college thing, did that for a while, and then, you know, work life after that. So it's really just been on the automotive side of things. I did the Harley shop for a long time. Got into motorcycles, riding. That kind of really sprung the passion for like the gearhead side of No Speed Limit and all that. And then when I went to the custom shop, you know, I was doing social media marketing for them, and then helping with an assortment of other things. And that kind of brought the, you know, content side of what we do with No Speed Limit into my life. And, you know, one thing after another, it kind of progressed, and putting out merch, that kind of thing, and just kind of build off of it.
Isn't that funny that you can start something from your phone and it could get to the point where you're putting out merch? Isn't that funny?
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, it's so weird, and then people buy it too.
Right.
It's like, it almost like, in a weird way, first of all, for me at least, it's an ego booster. I'm like, oh, sweet, this thing I've been putting work into, or it's like validation, right? Because you're like, okay, so this thing that's my baby that I've been putting work into, someone else likes it enough to spend, you know, $25, $30 or so on a t-shirt or something. It's
absolutely.
Like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, even, you know, the stickers that we put out occasionally, time to time, you know, this is an everyday occurrence, but a friend from high school will shoot me a picture on the highway in Marietta, or, you know, even far away, like Augusta or something like that. And, you know, No Speed Limit sticker be on somebody's car. And like you said, it's a confidence booster for sure. It feels good. So
yeah,
love it.
So let's rewind then. Let's go back to high school you, middle school you. Were you always into the automotive stuff? Were you just always a big car guy growing up, always on the floor racing with cars?
Right. So the motorcycle thing was definitely more early. Obviously, you don't start driving until you're 16. So the automotive side and cars, it really came into my life when I was around getting my license. My dad's father, my granddad, obviously, he left me a Corvette when he passed away. And so at 13, I inherited a Corvette.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Unfortunately, I don't have it today, but it definitely pushed me in that direction of the car thing. As far as like motorcycles, dirt bikes, from the time I was able to ride a bicycle, I've had dirt bikes and stuff like that. So my dad and grandparents, they kind of bred that into me a little bit, you know.
Wow. Left with a Corvette. What kind of vet was it?
It was a C6.
Wow.
2009. It had like 2,000 miles on it. He bought it and passed 6 months later and left it in his will to me. So it was crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure my dad was a little salty about that.
Sure. Is it his dad?
Yeah, it was his dad.
Yeah. I'd be salty too.
Yeah, man. Before he passed, he told me, you know, man, you'll probably be driving this thing to high school one day. And sure enough, he left it to me. So
dang.
That was crazy.
That's fire.
Crazy. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Got to spin it a few times. Obviously everybody was worried to death putting me behind the wheel of a Corvette at 16. So it didn't quite work out that way, but it was awesome while I had it, and, ended up selling it and get some money for it. And bought my first car, second car with the money. So it kind of kept me out of debt when I was young, I didn't get to drive the Corvette to high school, but it worked out in the long run.
Yeah.
So.
What's your first car that you buy yourself?
It was a Civic.
Nice.
A Civic Coupe.
There you go.
I thought I was the man in it.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Yeah, it was a good little car.
And then after the Civic?
It was a Mercedes C350 sedan. So It was a pretty cool little car.
Yeah.
Rode good, nothing crazy fast, but it had a little more get up and go than the Civic did, and looked good. So I like that car.
What do you drive now?
I'm in a Tacoma. I made the switch to a truck. It's a small truck, but I'm like, I was saying to friends last night, I'm like a spokesperson for the Toyota Tacoma now. Like the utility, you've got all the things that you want out of a truck. If you're not hauling heavy loads on a daily basis, like you've got the bed, I can throw my golf clubs back there, throw the dirt bike back there. Anything I needed to do, it does. And then also, commuting to work every day, I'm getting close to 20 miles a gallon. So it really, for me, it's like the perfect vehicle, man. And until I can get into something like a Corvette, that's probably where I'll stay.
Yeah. I drove a Colorado for a while, this similar build, kind of like medium sized truck.
Yeah.
And I ended up and at the time when I got the Colorado, I was driving all the way to like Covington for work. So I was driving crazy distances, and the gas mileage was good, but I was filling up on gas like every 3 days.
Right.
And it was just killing me based on the income I had at the time.
Right.
So I ended up trading it for something that got me better gas mileage. Yeah. But 6 months later, I left that job, and I was like, damn, I could have kept the truck. Could have kept the truck. And ever since, now I have a Blazer.
Right.
But ever since, I'm like, I miss the truck life, man. It's different.
Yeah, it's nice for sure. This is the first truck I've had, and the Tacoma doesn't sit too high, but just being up at that more high level, I guess, with other SUVs and things, it's different. I like it. So,
yeah, going from a sedan to a truck, it's almost like, how could I go back to a sedan?
Right, for sure.
Never could.
I always say now I'll always have a truck, whether like I have another car on the side, it's a commuter, or like a sportier car, I'll always have a truck now. That's what I've said to everybody. So yeah,
I've spoken to the existence to the boss at home. I've been like, the next car I get will either be it will be a truck of some kind.
Right.
I don't know what brand. I don't know. Whatever happens.
Right.
But I'm going back to the truck life. I miss it. It's just something about it. It almost felt like you were in a club.
For sure.
Like the Jeep Club, that everybody with the ducks and everything, even though I find that so interesting, the whole duck thing.
Right.
Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea. No idea.
It's like one day it happened, and it's almost like the Facebook poke. It's like
exactly
poke, and then it's like, well, someone did it to me, so I'm gonna do it to you, and then it just like spirals, and then now it's this like worldwide known thing. Like,
for
if
sure.
you have a Jeep, well, I can't say worldwide. I've never been outside the United States, but
nationwide at least.
Yeah, at least nationwide. Yeah. You every Jeep that drives by, there's a duck in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
weird how those little things just catch on and they spiral out of control.
Right.
Almost. Yeah.
Right. There's probably companies that exist solely because they make ducks for Corvettes for Jeeps.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Dang.
Definitely.
I got cars on the mind too, because I went to Caffeine and Octane this morning.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought about texting you and asking you if you were out there, just because I was like, man, I bet he's out there. What time did you get there?
I went late today. We normally host a little ride out and kind of get some of our core guys together and go over, and we end up dispersing out and losing one another, but we at least get there together and see a few things and, make a day out of it that way. But this morning, my buddy Breyer, he was in the show. It was like Volkswagen themed.
Yeah.
So he was in the show this morning. He got there super early. I slept in a little bit. I stayed up late last night watching the UFC fight. So I wasn't in bed till about 2. I got there maybe 10 or so and met up with him. We hung out a little while, looked around, and went and got some food. But normally on a day we'd run one of those ride outs, we'd be getting there around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So.
Yeah. I've only been a few times, but my dad's got a 68 Camaro convertible.
Oh, that's awesome.
And my brother's in town. Like I said, my brother's a huge car guy as well. And my dad was like, yeah, we got to take your brother to Caffeine and Octane.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely. So we met up at my parents' house in Kennesaw, just probably 20 minutes from from Caffeine and Octane, probably at like 7:20. So I was like, oh, but we were probably pulling out of the parking lot when you guys were coming in. We left around 10:30ish.
That's the way I normally do it. Getting there late today, it's the crowd was already jumping. You know, I couldn't find a parking spot for a while, so we normally are more the route you took this morning.
Yeah,
so.
But you know, the Volkswagen, I didn't realize that. I go so infrequently that I didn't even realize that, you know, each month there's like a different theme per se. Because the last time I went, it was Jeeps. Right. And it was just these jacked up Jeeps. I got this cool pictures of like this Jeep with like 2 like M60 like machine guns mounted on the top. I don't know if they're real or fake or not. I would hope they're real. That's awesome. But I was like, oh, okay. I've never seen so many Volkswagens in the same place. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. Breyer, he met up with a little bit of not a little bit of, but a Volkswagen group, and kind of cruised over there with about 20 Volkswagens.
Does he drive one as well?
Yeah, he's got the hatchback, little egg. So he met up with some of those guys and cruised over there with them this morning. So
it's just such an interesting community, like the car community. Right. It's such a passionate group of people.
For sure.
Like young and old. I mean, everybody has it.
There's a niche and a group for everybody. So no matter what you're into, if it's like your dad, you know, the old schools, there's a community for that. Volkswagens, Euro stuff, community for that. The JDM, Japanese cars, community for that. So it really is unique, you know, how you can find a home pretty much no matter what you're into. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's even probably a community of people that just love like lifted Volkswagen Beetles.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's absolutely there was a couple really cool Beetles out there today.
Dude, I love the weird shit like that, man.
That's so like cool.
That's my favorite stuff. So.
I love seeing the cars that are decked out and decal. Like, did you see the Pennywise one from It?
I don't think I saw this today, but I know the car you're talking about.
It's very cool. Yeah. And it's got like the It clown, like life-size doll in the passenger seat with like the glowing eyes. Or like they had the Chucky car is always there, or the Avatar car. They had a Venom one there earlier.
Oh yeah,
just all super cool stuff
for sure.
I mean, or the Green Lantern, that was a big one.
That guy that owns the Green Lantern car, he actually came into Monster Customs and had some work done. He had an airlift suspension, so he had his tank replaced on it actually, and so he runs a page that's like Themed Cars USA or something. I think it's I'm butchering that probably, but it's something along the lines of themed cars, and the Pennywise car, Green Lantern, different superheroes. They're all kind of.
They had Batman. There was a Barbie one. Yeah, they're super cool. But I was like, man, the amount of money they've put into these cars.
Yeah. It's exaggerant for sure. You know, it can get away from you, even with, you know, the bikes and cars I've owned. You start off, you're like, I'll do just an exhaust, or I'll do just this. And within 6 months, you're down a rabbit hole that's pretty deep. So,
I mean, even my brother he's got an SS Camaro. And
that's awesome.
He just it seems like every 3 months he's posting a video of it with something new on it.
Right.
Like, damn, man, the amount of money you're throwing. No judgment. You know, everyone's got their vice. Everyone's got their thing that they're super passionate. I mean, maybe I probably spend too much money doing stuff like this.
Right.
And his thing is cars, and that's cool. But as I'm walking around, and like, I'm not a huge car guy. Like, I can appreciate like the body styles and like just the aesthetics of really nice cars and everything. But he's definitely the car guy. But as I'm walking around, I'm like, the amount of money in this parking lot right now is just.
I couldn't even throw a guess at the value of every car in the show today.
God. Would it be dramatic to say 300 million? You think more?
I would go
close to $1 billion.
Close to $1 billion. Wow. I wouldn't say quite $1 billion, but I mean 750, 500 million, somewhere like that.
And we got there right around the time that there was a club. It looked like a club. I didn't know the details, but it was a bunch of exotic. There was a couple Corvettes. There was a couple McLarens, a couple Lambos, a couple GTRs.
Yep.
And they all came in one by one, and they kind of parked in that main area right in front of the food court entrance.
Yep.
And as they pulled in, I was like, these cars are $200,000 a
Oh,
piece,
for sure.
a pop.
For sure.
There's
That seems to be the main attraction every Caffeine and Octane. When that group rolls in, you know,
Yeah.
everybody gets their camera and tries to post up to catch them coming through. So.
It was almost like they was roped off and everyone was like standing there like they were monkeys performing or something. I was like, dang, these are some crazy cars though.
No doubt.
Mean, and there was like young dudes getting out of them too. That was what was impressing me.
Yeah,
because I was
absolutely.
Like, one dude got out of a Lambo, and I thought that dude has to be an athlete.
Yeah,
I mean, he like stood up. He was wearing a Braves hat. His watch was shining in the sun. I was like, that dude's got to be a Braves player or something. Like, there's no way this dude's not an athlete. Or they're just businessmen or entrepreneurs or something, and they're just murdering it.
That was one of the things with working at Monster Customs. When I was there, you know, it'd be a young kid come in and a Hellcat, and he just got his NIL deal through Georgia or Alabama or whatever. You know, we had Michael Chavez. I don't know where he plays now, but he's an MLB player.
Yeah.
He came through in McLaren. I moved it around the shop and stuff, you know, when we're doing work on it. Michael Irving, NFL player. He was one of the customers they had over there. And then also just people you wouldn't even recognize or know, you know, come in a really nice car and be close to my age. I'm like, man, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living? Like, how do you afford this car? And YouTubers streaming video games. One of the guys from AMP, his name's Agent 00, I think.
I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's like, if AMP is in the group with Kai Cenat and those guys, so I don't know how much you know about them, but
base level amounts.
Yeah, I'm about the same way. I'm not a video game person, and that's like their big thing. So I'm not really in the loop with it, but I didn't know who he was until I started talking to him. I looked him up on Instagram, and sure enough, you know, he's got a massive channel. AMP is a massive platform with everybody they have in the group, and this guy's balling, you know, TRX.
It's so insane to me that, I mean, like things like YouTube and podcasters or streamers or whatever, they're making crazy money. I mean, it's possible to make crazy money doing what they do.
Yep.
You just got to hit that moment at the right moment, and it just takes off from there. Like, think about, like, do you know the name Ray William Johnson?
I don't.
He was, imagine like, I'm trying to think of like the most successful. He was the first YouTuber, I think. I could be botching this, but he was like the first big YouTuber to ever hit like 100 million subscribers.
Okay.
I mean, this is back in, what year did you graduate high school?
17.
Okay, so I graduated in 14.
Okay.
So back when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, so probably like 2008, 2000. He was this big YouTuber, like big. I mean, now since then he sold the rights to his show to a conglomerate, I think, and they paid him out big. But I mean, he was a huge. What he would do is he would compile all of the week's most viral videos, and he would kind of almost treat it like a news broadcast, and he'd be like, check out this video of a monkey wearing a diaper playing the guitar.
Right.
And then it was almost like America's Funniest Home Videos, but like shortened into 10 minutes, and it was uploaded every week. There was one episode a week, and it was called like =3 for whatever reason, because I mean the emblem looked like, it kind of looked like a dick.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, like, that was just the theme of the show. And the dude was making, like, pervy jokes. It was really funny, like, to a 7th grader.
Yeah. Seems like he was ahead of his time a little bit.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit it huge. I mean, I have a laptop in front of me. The dude got crazy rich. But then, I mean, he had, like, guest comedians hosting the show every once in a while. I mean, he really made it huge. But then he fell off or something. I mean, goodness gracious, I'm trying to see if there's anything. Oh, yeah, here. Ray William Johnson, American Internet Celebrity, best known for YouTube channel =3. In 2013, so this is 2013, had over 2 billion views.
Wow.
Making it the most watched and subscribed to channels at the time. So think about like the hype that surrounds like Mr. Beast now. It was Ray William Johnson in 2010.
Yeah.
But the dude hit it crazy big, and that was the first guy that I ever thought like, oh wow, people can make money from YouTube.
For sure.
Like, and even like thinking about Mr. Beast,
it's so crazy.
It's insane.
So crazy. The ceiling's so much higher than it was then, probably anyway, because of people like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, those guys, you know, like it's crazy I remember like when I first started hearing about Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and it was like, I'm never going to watch this stuff. Like, what am I doing watching people just a year or two older than me live their life? Like, what's interesting in that, you know?
Agreed.
And then now to see what they've become, I mean, they're international superstars off of YouTube.
And they started on YouTube and Vine back in the day too. I remember watching Logan Paul and thinking he was really funny.
Right.
Like I remember he was one of the first on Vine to hit it big too.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy's funny. Now the dude's in fucking UFC fights and kicking ass and has his own podcast, has the whole brand. What's it called? Why am I not thinking of it? Prime.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah. It's insane.
Absolutely.
Try explaining, like imagine if you went back in time to the 60s or 70s and explained to somebody then that was our age, like, hey, in 100 years, in 50 years, people will be making money by all of these things, and they wouldn't believe you.
For sure. Dude, even trying to explain the kind of stuff that what we're talking about now to like my grandparents, it's like they still can't really wrap their head all the way around it, and for good reason. It's insane. So
every time I see my grandparents as well, I try to tell them a little bit about, they're always like, how's your internet show going? Yeah. And I'm like, well, you know, but you know, what's correcting I'm going to do? You know, I mean, let them think what it is.
I've taken the approach of, I just tell them all these absurd, like, facts about, you know, the internet, way people are making money through YouTube, Instagram, all these things, and then just let it blow their mind. And they have to digest with it for
they don't even know what to ask for follow-up questions.
Like, wow.
They're just like, wow, that sounds so interesting. And in the back of their mind, they're like, what the fuck is he talking
like, this guy's
about?
out of his mind.
It's insane. But I mean, that's just the landscape I guess we're in now. And I mean, like, people will just start Instagram pages, and I mean, like, for no speed limit. I mean, did you start it? I mean, how did it start? Did you start it with the goal of it getting to where it is now and beyond? No, or I mean, were you just taking pictures of cars that you liked, or like, how did it start?
Dude, so we've rebranded a little bit and changed the direction we have wanted to head a few times. But when the idea came to me, we had an airsoft team, kind of like a paintball team back in the day. And that's where No Speed Limit came from. That was kind of our slogan for the airsoft team. And so it's crazy how far that goes back into my life, being like 12, 13 years old, and like the branding and just trying to organize and figure out the same kind of things that translate over into No Speed Limit. When I started No Speed Limit, the idea was, I'm going to make this kind of like a lifestyle brand, make it like kind of more apparel based, you know. Obviously No Speed Limit is such a broad statement. I'm like, I could really go any direction with this.
I'm the t-shirts are just, the designs are flooding in my mind right now of all the different things you could do.
Absolutely. And that's when it first came to me, that's the way I was thinking. You know, I was like, let me just go ahead and get a page up, start getting a few followers for it, and as I figure out what this is going to be, I'll kind of just put it out as I go. And so I came up with a design, you know, obviously, like I was saying before, motorcycles, cars, that's always kind of been my thing. And so I came up with a first t-shirt design. I was like, this is catchy. And everybody around me is like, no, like I like the way No Speed Limit sounds. Like it could become something, like, still, no matter which way you go with it, it's catchy, you know? And so I got 50 shirts made. They all went quick. And I was like, okay, so we've got something here. Started talking to friends and stuff about it. I was like, I think this has potential to, you know, be something. And obviously I still feel the sky's the limit. And we've only kind of scratched the surface of where we can go with this thing. So I started talking to friends, and I was like, honestly, I just need help with getting it out there and kind of forming a direction of what we want to do with No Speed Limit. And so that's when Briar, I think you know as well, he got involved with me, and we were like, let's put together a meet to bring everybody out to like what this is going to be around. So like, it's going to be based around the automotive motorsports industry and like people that have a passion for those things. And so we did our first meetup before Caffeine and Octane, just to like get our friends that are into those same things out. And, you know, we had 20 people or so come out, and we've kept doing it, put on other events. We've done mountain runs to Helen now, bring everybody out, kind of cruise curvy roads, go get food with everybody that supports our community and supports our brand. And then we've gone tubing down the river in Helen with those guys. And so we've really cultivated a community where like, it's not just people supporting our brand. We're friends with everybody that comes out now, and not really like the guys aren't the typical people I'd probably hang out with if no speed limit wasn't a thing. So it's developed into something that's really cool, I think, you know. And like we were saying, that we're only scratching the surface of what it can be, you know, with us putting on more events and us growing and bringing more people in. I really think just like over time we could turn it into a big community where we're rallying, you know, hundreds of people together for events, all like-minded people, all people that are into cars, you know, motorcycles, that kind of thing. So it's going in that direction now, and I've kind of rambled on at this point, but
no, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
bring us back into the question you even started with.
Yeah. I mean, that's podcasting is half the time you'll forget what we were even talking about.
Right.
But that's really cool, dude. I mean, it's again, kind of like what we were saying at the top about like you starting something and other people subscribing to it, other people buying the merch.
Yeah.
I mean, the 50 shirts that just came and went,
right.
where you like, oh shoot, people like actually like this.
Yeah,
like this,
for sure.
This is the validation. Like, yeah, people follow, people like, people comment, cool.
For sure.
But like people actually spent their money on something.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
that's cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's became something I didn't know it was going to be when we first started, you know, and it's kind of like, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well with everything you do, you don't really know the formula until you get going. And as you go, like stuff just starts clicking and coming together and what it's meant to be. So
it's so crazy how people, I don't think, get enough credit for, I mean, building the things that they've built enough. Like, because half the time, like, at least for me speaking, like everything I do is self-taught. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't, I mean, YouTube University is where I might as well have gone. I mean, any social media habits I've picked up, any, you know, what equipment do I use for this? I mean, what's the best software? I mean, everything is just from trial and error.
Absolutely.
And I mean, like, and sometimes even still, like sometimes like a mic won't work or something, or cord will malfunction, and I'll just be like, all right, well, I'm still figuring this out. I mean, I've done this for X amount of years, but I'm still figuring it out.
100%.
And I feel like that's good though, because it doesn't keep things too stale for too long. Because if you're anything like me, I get bored. I get bored very easily.
That's the worst thing that can happen to me as well.
And it's a trap.
Yeah. The more passionate and locked in I can stay on something, the better off I am. Because right when I get bored, that's when inconsistency creeps in, you know, that kind of thing.
The negative thoughts start to come in. Like, what are you even doing,
wasting my
Jackson?
time?
Are you wasting time? Yeah. Nobody really cares about this. It's like the dark thoughts, and you're like, no, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, you gotta have the fortitude to stay the course. That's the biggest thing. And like me and Briar, when we meet on No Speed Limit, the direction we want to go in this thing, that's what we preach to one another. It's just like the consistency and not letting the doubt creep in, because when you start doubting yourself, you know, it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
You got to believe in yourself first and foremost. And I'm a big advocate of that. So
yeah, that's been a thing I've been working on lately. I started going to some personal therapy in 2024. At the beginning of the year, I went to a few appointments, because before I was always like, I don't need therapy.
Right.
I'm not a therapy loser.
Right.
But after going two or three times at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, therapy rocks.
Right.
It helps to be able to like tell somebody your life and them not be biased at all. Because obviously, like even me, like somebody you barely know, I'm probably going to advocate for you.
Right.
But like this person who has no idea who you are, where you've come from, nothing, and you're just venting.
Absolutely.
Their perspective is so cool.
For sure.
And I mean, when those thoughts start to creep in about, you know, not being good enough or not being this, not being that, that's something that I've really made honestly pretty good strides this year in just like, no, like people like what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And I've gotten to the point that says, you know what, whether 10,000 people a month listen to this thing or one person a month, like that's cool
for sure.
Like
I've got the same attitude at this point, man. Some stuff it's like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks, you know. Some stuff it takes off. We've had little TikTok clips and Instagram reels that do literally millions of views. Yeah. And then I'll throw one up and it gets like 42
or 42.
Yeah. 300, 42, like, 6, anything.
And you sit there and you stare at it and you're like,
like, did I just catch the algorithm at a bad time, or what happened here?
That's what sucks too, dude, about social media is like on TikTok too, like you'll get through an algorithm and you'll start, you know, getting like 3,000, 5,000, 8,000 views. You're like, okay, I'm hitting this thing. And then you'll upload 3 videos in a row and all of them get like 215 views.
Right.
And it's like, you're stuck in that void of 200 views.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how to get out of this.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's
That's,
I'm out here with a full-time job and I'm trying to figure this out.
right. Yeah. When you're in those dips, it definitely, that's when it'll start creeping in on you. So
So why the jump from, I mean, so you were working in a shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the jump from the shop to like doing marketing work?
So Sunbelt Marketing, it's not really like a marketing agency.
Okay.
Right? We are a distributor of like raw materials.
Okay.
And so obviously we have a marketing department, people doing that. I work in sales there.
Okay.
My granddad did as well. And he's kind of the one that got my foot in the door.
Cool.
with that company. And really, you know, it's to say that I'm passionate about selling raw materials. It's who really is, right?
Right.
But it's such a good opportunity, and the company's so well established. They treat everybody really well. I mean, I can honestly attest that like I've never worked for anyone like these people.
Really?
So well taken care of there. And I knew this firsthand because my granddad's been there 40 years, you know? And so when I had the opportunity to get my foot in the door there, I was like, you know, as like a plan A, 9 to 5 job, which I'm obviously was working either way at this point in time.
Sure.
Like this is a great option, and the sky's the limit for moving up there. And so that's what moved me over with them. And it's a grind. It's not easy, you know, coming from an industry that's completely unrelated to this one.
Yeah.
I've definitely had a learning curve to deal with. Sure. But now after being there about 6 months, I am starting to settle in. My feet are wet, and it's been going well. So
are you good at sales?
I think so. I'm a real to the point. I'm type of salesman. I'm not a
blow fluff up their ass.
Yeah, at all. Like at the end of the day, I feel if people want to buy from you, they're going to, and you really just have to figure out what it is that's keeping them from buying from you, you know, like overcoming objections. That's obviously something every salesman needs to be able to work on, but figure out what's keeping you guys apart from doing business together and just addressing that. And if you can make it work, you can make it work. I'm really laid back. I don't bullshit people, you know, and I feel like if you shoot people straight, they're going to be straight with you. And when you have that relationship with customers and they're comfortable enough to tell you like, honestly, dude, I got a quote elsewhere and you're $2,000 high on this $50,000 sale. Can you do anything for me? Like, obviously, like even if I'm not the one able to make that decision, I'm going to go work for that customer because they've been good to me. They've been doing business with me for say 6 months, a year, whatever, you know, just figuring out what it is that's keeping you guys from working together and doing what you can to make it happen.
Yeah. You know, when I was working at a financial institution, I can relate to all of that. I mean, if people want to sign up for something or if they want to have this or get this kind of product or get that product, they're going to. Yeah. There's not much that can, at least my biggest problem with sales is I always put myself in their shoes. Right. And you can't do that because I'm the kind of guy I don't want to be sold with that to. Too. I do not want to be sold to. Yeah. Like if I walk up in a Best Buy and head to go buy some new AirPods, I don't want some it's not fair to say nerd, but if some dude comes up to me and he says like, well, have you looked at the new Sony? I'm going to be like, respectfully, bro, I know what I want. Right. Go away.
I'll come get you when I'm ready.
Right. Like same thing with the dealership. Like I love the feeling of going and buying a new car. Like it's so fun for me. But when you park and you're like looking at a car on the lot and you see in the corner of your eye some dude coming and you're just like, man, right? Hey, how are you? I'm just looking. I'll come get you if I have a question.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, you should come down. No, I'll come get you if I need you. Right. But so that's always been my biggest hurdle is like, I always put myself in their shoes. I'm like, for sure. How do I sell to someone that doesn't want to be sold to? And they're like, you're not. How do you know this person doesn't love being sold to? Right. Because there's people out there that love that.
Yeah, they want attention from the time they walk into the dealership or into your store or whatever. There are people like that, and it's strange to me because I am a complete, you know, opposite type of guy. But they feel disrespected if somebody's not with them at all times. So it's definitely just being able to read people and understand, you know, kind of what they're looking for in your product, and then also in the experience with shopping with you. So
I love, well, I don't think this is something that our generation is going to be doing, but have you ever noticed that like the older generations of people, they have this, I don't want to say they have this chip on their shoulder, but you ever hear the, I've been a customer here for 30 years or something? Dude, I have never once heard a millennial say that sentence.
Right.
Like I've been here over 20 years and it makes me just want to be like, so
right.
Who cares?
Right.
Like, I know that back in the day, like loyalty and like, you go and see the same barber from when you're 5 to you're 50. Like, I get the loyalty aspect of like customer service and like consumers and stuff. But like, bro, like no one cares.
There's no loyalty
anymore. No one cares.
Yeah, at all.
I mean,
at all.
Is it cool that I go and see the same barber every single time because I like what he does? Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates that too. But like, people do it at like fast food restaurants. Right. They're just like, I've been a customer at this location for 20 years. And you're like,
no doubt.
So,
no doubt.
I used to working at Chili's when I was in college. And same thing. People would be like, well, I've been coming here for a long time. Like,
the Harley world is the world's worst about that.
Really?
I would say 65% of Harley dudes are dropping that line on you, man. It was
about just,
I've been coming to this dealership since 1965, whatever it is. And they want to be treated like royalty, and not just treated like royalty. If you've got a $8,000 difference on a motorcycle you're trying to sell, probably not going to be able to get there for you, man. Like, we might be able to meet in the middle, work something out. Sure. But dude, like, you're not getting a bike for what we pay for it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It's just, it doesn't make sense for anybody.
I love the people that will walk up and they'll be like, I don't pay overpriced for vehicles. I get sticker price.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what happens when your dude retires?
Yeah.
Then what? Like, my boss currently, as the day we record this, I'm going to be starting a new job in a couple of weeks. But awesome. She's worked at the institution for 40 plus years. And so whenever people come in to see her and she's not there, like if she's at the doctor or if she has meetings or something, they're always just like, oh. And like the line I've been dropping lately has been, you should learn to get help from someone else because she's about to retire.
Yeah.
And when she retires, you're not going to be calling her. So people just like that loyalty thing.
100%.
And I get it to an extent, but bro, like, I don't care who checks me out at the Best Buy. Like, I'm just there to get my AirPods and leave.
Right.
But maybe that's our generations of like being, I think stereotypically like self-absorbed to ourselves.
For sure.
Whereas like, back in the day, love thy neighbor. Like that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. And I'd hate to say it, but our generation of people probably aren't quite as social. So developing that relationship's a little bit harder nowadays, I would think, as well. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for everybody nowadays is what's it cost me? If you can give me a better deal, bought my last 2 cars off of this other guy, but if I can get what I want for $1,000 less from you, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
It's like, we have these family discussions here and there where my parents, or particularly my mother, will like argue that like people in our generation, they don't have loyalty to employers.
Right.
Because, like similar to what you just said, like if I'm working for you, but then that guy says, hey, I'll pay you $5,000 a year more and I'll give you double the PTO time, people would be like, oh, done, sold.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a level of me that hates it, but also like, selfishly, you've got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
To take care of yourself. You got to know what's best for you. And like my dad's worked at the same company for 30 years. He'll retire from that company and he's worked at, one company ever since he got out of school. And like, that's really cool.
That's how my grandfather is.
Yeah. And that was a thing I feel like for our parents and grandparents, but now like you look at people's LinkedIn's and it's like 17 different jobs before they retire.
100%.
And it's like a level of me is like, God, that sucks. But then again, you gotta do what's best for you.
It's like that saying, man, they say the best raise or the quickest raise is a new job.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's like, why, especially if you're unhappy to, like, I saw this TikTok the other night that really like stood out to me. It was like, you don't have to hate your job.
Right.
You can leave and go to another company that will very likely pay you more or the same, but treat you better.
Right.
and you don't have to hate your everyday.
For sure. I feel like people can get caught up in their daily routine. And if you're kind of small-minded and feel like this is just kind of the only option you have, you're able to get complacent and settle for a job that isn't treating you well, isn't paying you what you're worth. And there's so many options out there, man. And if you get online and start looking, and even just go knocking doors, going into different businesses, different establishments, and asking for applications, you'll find something that's a better option if you're unhappy. So I've done it time and time again. If I get to a situation where I'm just not happy at work, I'm not the type of person to settle. Luckily with this new job, they make it real hard for you to want to leave. I will say,
really?
Like they pay me well, but it's not just that. You're appreciated day in, day out for the hard work you do. They reward us any way they can, lunch, whether it's just lunch at work, which is a small thing, but
it goes a long way.
It goes a long way, the little stuff. And they just got me set up on a membership at Dogwood Golf Club.
Nice.
And so, dude, that's like a raise in itself for me. I was golfing every weekend, paying a green fee and a cart fee, end up being $60 to $90 just to play around. And now I can go play for free at the expense of the company that I started at 6 months ago. You know what I mean? So they're really good to me. And you can find there's still businesses out there that'll treat you well and do you right, especially if you have a good work ethic and work hard, man.
Yeah.
I think that there's always options.
I do think on the other side of that, like there's a lot of people that just expect to be treated that way. And there's a level of my belief system that thinks that you should have to prove yourself.
Yeah, you got to earn it.
Like you got to earn it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm not out here looking for handouts. I don't need a participation trophy.
Yeah.
I believe in like sticking my head down and working. And then after a couple years, if it's really like, if you're really unhappy, then and you really feel like you are actually being like disrespected,
right?
Then like, jump ship for sure.
Yeah. But
like, you got to earn the perks. I'm sure this 6 month hasn't been a cakewalk. You've worked your ass off for getting that membership.
Absolutely. Just getting through the initial training and then, feet on the ground every day. It has not been easy, especially the first few months when it all is new to you and there is no muscle memory or just repetition to it. It's coming home and just being absolutely shot. Not even one. Yeah. Like, I try and come home with the side hustle and everything. I try and put at least an hour or two in of getting things accomplished that I need to, whether it's getting a couple posts up or changing something on the site, talking to people about upcoming events, whatever it is. And I really struggled during the first few months of the new job just because I was coming home and like, I didn't want to think about anything, maybe turn on a movie and sit down. I go to the gym like at least a few times a week. And I was coming home, not physically exhausted, but just so mentally drained. I could hardly get myself to the gym for 2-3 months. So
it's easy to get there. Work can be so draining, even if you don't do anything that day. Like I've had days, and those are arguably the days that you come home and you're even more drained. Yeah. Because you sat there and did nothing all day. Right. But, can't relate. Right. Well, some days though, some days it's slower than others, but for sure. It's just one of those things. Like I get tired. Like I'm tired right now thinking about being tired. Right. Like just the thought of like getting home, throwing your bag on the ground and just like slouching on the couch. Like that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I try my best also to balance it in that, like when I get home from the full-time job, to not immediately jump on my computer. What do you do? Will you like get home, get dinner started maybe, and then start working? Right. Or will you get home and just immediately start crunching and then eat later? Like what's your deal?
I'm better off staying moving. Once I like settle down and get seated and maybe eat, like you're saying,
then you're vegging out.
Yeah, my motivation is gone. And I guess that's when discipline comes in, and I'm pretty tough on myself. So a lot of times I'll still drag myself up, I'd like to think, but I'm better off just keeping moving. Don't let myself sit down too long. I try and go to the gym right after work, because if I do sit down or eat or do something,
it's
I'm done.
Yeah, it's one thing I've started doing is, so my wife's a teacher, and so she wakes up super duper early in the morning to get ready for school. So I've started getting up like around like maybe 30 minutes after her, and I'll be awake at like 6:30.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be showered and ready to go for the day by 7.
Yeah.
And she'll leave for the day around 6. So I'll just have like a nice solid hour before I need to leave for work.
Right.
To sip on coffee, maybe throw on an episode of TV,
Right.
or even just work on this stuff so that
For
on
sure.
that night I don't have to get home and work on it.
No doubt.
But
I get up and get going early. So I'm like 6:30, I'm getting ready to leave and head on in for the commute. So
how about the commute?
It's not very far, just traffic, you know. This Atlanta traffic's rough. So getting out to Fulton Industrial from my house, it takes like 45 minutes or so, and that's where our main office building is. So it can be 45 minutes or it can be an hour and a half. Just depends, you know. So
depends on what you leave.
Yeah.
If you leave at 6:15, you're great, but if you leave at 6:17, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's crazy how that is, but that's exactly it for sure.
Oh man. Dang. I just got so tired.
I get it.
So brain fart. Can't wait to edit this out.
What's your work life like? Your routine day to day?
That's a good question. Thanks for throwing something at me.
I'm trying.
You're doing great. In terms of like my schedule.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up at anywhere, depending on how many times I snooze the alarm. I'll wake up from any time from, let's see, probably 5:45 to 6:45. Get up, immediately shower, shower, shave, the whole nine. Get downstairs, throw some coffee on immediately. And when I say throw some coffee on, I mean pour some coffee, because what we'll do is we make iced coffee and put it in a jug and put it in the fridge, and it'll last us like 4 days. Yeah, exactly. A pitcher. That sounds so good, honestly. I want some coffee. I didn't have coffee today. What am I doing? And it's because I went to Caffeine Octane. There's no cup holders in the Camaro.
Oh no, that's he did that on purpose.
Yeah, probably. Probably a smart move, honestly, because the interior is white. So I mean, if there was a coffee spill, it would not be great.
Yeah, that's rough.
So let's not do that, maybe. But throw some coffee on, maybe throw on, it just depends on my mood, how motivated I am. If I'm super amped for the day, maybe I'll whip out the laptop and, make some social media posts or other miscellaneous little nitty gritty things. Or I'll throw on the PlayStation and play an hour's worth of something before work. Or I'll just watch TV and play games on my phone. I don't know. And then work, and then get home from work. And then I usually what I've been trying to do is to prioritize my relationship, as I probably should. And I'll get home and I'll leave my phone, my watch, and my computer on the opposite side of the room. So
that's really good. I don't have that discipline.
It's not perfect. In fact, most nights it's not going that smoothly.
Right.
But I mean, I've had to been given some conversations of like, you're on your phone way too much, and it's like I'm
no stranger to those same conversations, so I definitely get it.
I get it. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm also like you. Like, I don't want the momentum to stop. Right. So like, if I'm on fire, then I want to continue that fire.
Yeah. When you're in that flow state, the best thing you can do is just keep pushing.
So, it's a grind. I try to record the podcast. I used to just schedule it willy-nilly any day ever, and was just like, but then I'd be having, I'd come home and I'd have a podcast on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Right. And my wife was like, she was just like, dude, you're doing this way too much. Right. You're never here. You got to chill. So she did not make me. I agreed to do it only on Tuesday nights and Sundays, just to reserve the rest of the week to do whatever. Right. And it has helped. I just know that, like, if my friends are like, hey, you want to golf? Like last night, they were like, you want to golf next Sunday? I'm like, can't. I'm doing like 3 episodes back to back to back. Like, I just stack them on those days. Right. Same with Tuesday night. Like, hey, you want to do something? No, I can't. I'm doing an episode Tuesday night. But
yeah, I'm the same way, man. I struggle with balancing it all big time.
It's hard.
It's super tough. And, highly motivated person that you are, and I feel like I'm a similar way. It's just, leisure time for things like golf that comes into play, and then normal work, and then everything else you want to get accomplished, and then the necessities, like you said, shower, shave, haircuts, taking
doctor's
appointments. I have a yearly checkup that I'm 3 months behind on now because I missed it because of work, and then never rescheduled it. So it's all that stuff, man. The balance is super tough. But
sorry to cut you off. What's your love life like? Are you married? Girlfriend?
Not married, girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. So
cool.
Let's go in that direction. I like to think.
Sure. How long have you been together?
3 years-ish. Yeah, 3 years or so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Does she have side hustles or hobbies or anything like this as well?
A little bit. So her and her sisters are really into like clothes fashion. They do a lot of thrifting, that kind of thing. And then they wear stuff one time, take photos, and then sell it again themselves. So the way my brain works and my DNA, I'm like, you can make this a whole business. You and your sisters get together, get a page started. You don't even need a website right now. Just start posting on Instagram, make TikToks of you guys wearing the clothes, going through outfit changes.
Absolutely.
Sell them as whole outfits, sell the pieces individually. And it's stuff you're thrifting, not that it's bad stuff, but it's just like cheap stuff, you can double your money on quick and still get your pictures for your little Instagram posts and feel cute and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And so I push her big time in that direction. She's not as much as an extrovert as I am. And I mean, I'm not even really, really full extrovert either, but she's a little more shy than I am. And her sisters are kind of the same way, but I'm like, I will help you. I will do the talking, voiceovers, whatever you guys need. Like, we can make this happen. So.
I've been trying to do the same thing. Like anything my wife is good at, which there's a ton, but there was something the other, I forget what it was specifically. Oh, it was like decorating the house. We were decorating the house for fall. And I was like, you're good at decorating. Like, why don't you like monetize that?
Right.
Because like from a young age, like my dad's always been in the corporate world, like corporate ladder. And that's always been my thing. But I was like, I don't want to be like the corporate dude. I want to have like this and if I am a corporate guy on one side, but then on the outside, I have like a creative side passion. Like I want to have like that So anytime my wife does something like really cool, or she does something that's really neat, or decorates something really awesome, or I'm like, you need to monetize this. There's a whole system out there for teachers. So like, there's a website called Teachers Pay Teachers, or Teachers Help Teachers, something like that. Right. And it's basically a place, like if my wife uploads a lesson plan about George Washington for second graders, it's almost like an Etsy for teachers. So you could go online, you can upload this PowerPoint and sell it for $5 or something.
That's awesome.
So if you're a teacher in Nebraska that wants to teach their second graders about George Washington, you could go up on this site, search George Washington, filter it to second grade, third grade, whatever. And it would pop up and you can buy it and the money goes to the teachers. It's just it's literally, I don't even think the site takes anything. It's literally just a place for teachers to make extra money by helping each other. Right. And she's super well versed, and I don't think she knows about like graphic design, and she can really whip up some cool PowerPoints, and she makes everything in Canva.
Right. And my girlfriend's the same way. She works for the city of Dallas Parks and Rec. And so she
probably knows one of my good friends.
Okay. Who is it?
Cheyenne Cook.
She may know her.
She works for the city of Dallas.
I'll have to ask for sure. But yeah, she's the event coordinator there. So awesome. Flyers, things like that. She's cooking in Canva on a daily basis. And it works for me because cooking
in Canva. That's good.
Yeah. But it works for me too, because she helps me with graphics and things like that. She's helped with t-shirts. She's helped with flyers and stuff with no speed limit, since day one. So she's supportive in that way as well.
I bet she really knows. Oh, dang. I'm logged in on my podcast page on here, so I can't see it. I don't follow her. Oh, yeah. I bet she knows Cheyenne. I don't know what Cheyenne does, but she does something for the city of Dallas. Okay. And she's involved with like public relations of some kind. So I'm sure they work together in some capacity. Sure. But yeah, dude, I mean, she whips it up so well. I'm like, you need to get on here and just start selling this stuff. Yeah. I mean, monetize if you're good at it, never do it for free. Right. What famously the Joker said in The Dark Knight. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Absolutely.
And ever since he said that, I was like, it's true.
100%.
If you're making these dope ass lesson plans and then they're just sitting in our Canva account, just sitting there, I'm like, dude, we could download these and upload them and make easy money.
For sure. For sure.
It takes a hustle though. I mean, a hustle mentality. I mean, she gets home from school at 3:00, 4:00, and the first thing she wants to do is take a nap because she got up so early, and I get it. Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks. I mean, I couldn't do it. I couldn't teach 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds all day.
Yeah.
And
that would be
then
rough.
get home and then work more. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
For sure. It's not for everybody by any means. So
No. I mean, some people are cool with working their job and clocking in and clocking out and do it. And, more power to you. I wish I was like that sometimes. I'm like, why do I have to have this? Like, dude, why couldn't I just let this go?
Right. That kind of goes back to the letting the intrusive negative thoughts creep in. And then when you're feeling overwhelmed on top of it with like the workload that comes along with your side hustle, that's when you'll have yourself on the brink of maybe I take down the page, and we'll come back to it if we get to a spot where we want to do this again. But I'll have those feelings, and within 2 days, I'm like hooked again, like full steam ahead. So it's just the progression's not linear, I think. And, you go through lows of the valleys, and then you make it to the top of the mountain from times, and you just feel super motivated and want to keep pushing. So it's just, again, discipline of staying consistent and staying at it. Because even when you're not motivated, if you're disciplined enough to still do what you should do, you can get it done.
Right.
Make some progression.
It makes you wonder how many people out there, especially in like those older generations where they were told like, you need to go to college, you need to graduate college, you need to get a job, and you need to put your nose down and work that job until the day you retire.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many people had these other things that they were so good at that they just never took advantage of?
Right. Or started at and gave up on, That's the whole thing. It's like, I don't really think people fail all that much. Of course, sometimes it's just not for you, but you really just give up, I think, more than actually fail at something. And that's true failure, in my opinion. Like, do I end the year in 2026 with, 1 million followers on No Speed Limit? Maybe not. But I definitely won't end the year in 2026 if I would have deleted the account 6 months ago when I was kind of feeling down and not wanting to really do much with it at the time, So it's like just staying consistent and fighting through those negative thoughts and working on your craft.
So besides doing like meetups and, you already got the merch stuff going, where else could you see No Speed Limit going? I mean, could you guys have your own version of Caffeine and Octane? There's like these giant meetups where vendors are set up and you got sponsors and the whole shebang.
That's kind of the goal. We have on October 20th, it's called Rally in the Ridges is what we named it. And there's a farm up there. We met these people out of complete coincidence, and the guy that owns it, he's got a Mustang. His buddy has a Porsche. Got to talking to them, and they're like, let's put on something big up here right by Helen during Oktoberfest this year. Like, let's get a real show going, a real meet, and bring out everybody you guys can. Like, we'll provide the venue. You guys organize everything else. And so the biggest thing we've done yet is going to be this month in Helen at Farm 180 is the name of it. And all the information's on our page and everything if you guys want to check it out. But we've got some vendors coming out. We've got tickets being sold now, and it's trending to do really well. The last time we did a run up to the mountains, had the biggest turnout we've ever had, close to 100 cars. And we expect this one to be at least 100 or 150 or so. So it's going to be the biggest thing we've done, not on a Caffeine and Octane level yet, but with time, I think we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I mean, Caffeine and Octane, it makes you kind of want to wonder, I want to dig into their origin for a while and see, like, I'm sure, I mean, now it's like a nationwide thing, isn't it? Caffeine and Octane? Like, is it local only?
It's nationwide in the sense, I know they had the TV show for a while.
That's true.
So I know they do more than just the meetup monthly. And then they host like race days at Lanier Raceway as well. But they do a lot of stuff. So that TV show, for one, I don't know if it's still like on like cable television or just YouTube and other streaming services, but it's in that sense, it is a national thing, I think. So.
Yeah, they're a big...
Yeah, they're massive, man. Massive.
They're huge. I didn't even know they did some of these things. Yeah, it's based out of Georgia. It was founded in Georgia. Okay. So, I mean...
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure on that one, but I think that the meat part of it,
yeah, that's really cool. I mean, everyone starts somewhere. It's just getting there.
Definitely. Just air and opportunity, and putting the time and effort forth to get there. So I think the formula is kind of coming together. Again, like I said earlier, just like the more you work on it, the more you figure out the path to where you want to go. And I think we're kind of getting there with like figuring out what works and what doesn't. And so this one will be a big test for us. I'm sure we'll learn a lot with the Rally and the Ridges event and kind of just take notes on what didn't work, what did work. And for the next one, go from there. Hopefully this can become an annual thing we do with this venue up in Helen and make this kind of a yearly event for us.
Yeah, that'd be super awesome. Yeah. That'd be super cool. So you're a golf guy, yeah?
Dude, I'm consumed with the game now.
You are?
Yeah. I'm like obsessed, bro. I went from, I don't really care for it too much. Friends drug me out a time or two in a year's time to like, I'm consumed with the game. Yes.
Really?
Yes, man. It doesn't help. My job now encourages it. So we've got a simulator in the office.
Yeah. So is that what you're always posting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, I mean, I lunch at the office in the simulator every day almost. And then now that they got us on with a membership at Dogwood, dude, I'm playing a couple times a week at least. So I love it, man.
I'm in that stage that you just said that you started in.
Yeah.
And I think most people probably start there of like your friends drag you out. And they're like, come on, come be with boys.
Yeah.
And it's like, fine. And then I get there and I end up having a good time always.
Yeah.
Even though I am certified not great at golf, but
nobody is when they start. Nobody.
And it's one of those things that, I don't know what I hate more, being bad at it or the constant like condescending comments from your friends. They're like, you're right there, man. You're right there. And I'm like, well, I'm not. I'm not there.
That's
so
it.
Fuck off.
I think that's what I love the most, dude. It's like now that we're getting a little older, I used to play pickup basketball all the time, whether it was at Mount Tabor or just, neighborhood park. And now I go play and I can hardly walk for, 3 days after it. My knees are bad, got a bad lower back. It wears on you. And so golf isn't as intense on the body.
Yeah.
Go out there, whether you're good or not good, it's a handicap game. They can give you strokes and make it fair. And the competition is just like the funnest thing for me. I like all the stuff that comes along with like, we're playing give me's, we're taking drops, you're counting extra strokes for the drops or whatever. I like that element of playing with buddies and stuff like that because, you give somebody a 3-foot putt on hole 2 and then you get to hole 4 and you've got 3-footer, 2.5-footer. And they're like, nah, you've got to putt it. And just the banter back and forth. That's my favorite part of the game, is just cutting up with buddies and giving people a hard time for a bad shot and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it is every time I do go, I do leave thinking like, yeah, that was fun. That wasn't a waste of time.
Right.
Although I just wish that it just took less time. That's the only thing. Like, could we just normalize playing 9 more often? Like, I would love to play. I would play 9 holes every week easily. Like, oh, you want to go play 9? That'll take 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
cool. I'm a 9-hole guy too.
Really?
I'm a 9-hole bandit. Like after work, go get 9. And it gets dark anyway, so you can't get a full 18. But I mean, you'll kill a whole Saturday playing 18 sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's
You get out there at 10
time
o'clock, you're not
consuming.
getting home till 3:30.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
at that point, I just want to nap, and then you
Right.
sleep the day away, and then it's over.
Right. That's the battle with golf for me. I love it so much, but it's really not contributing anything great to my life other than like the fun, you know, and the enjoyment of it. But yeah, that, and doubling back on what you're saying about, you know, your old lady at home or whatever, having those conversations. We've had a few golf conversations
Sure.
in my household. So.
I feel like most relationships cross that bridge at some point,
Yeah.
the golf thing.
Yeah.
Because it's easy, even if you're bad like myself. Like, I went through last summer a phase where I was playing it every week.
Right.
And that's a lot for me. And it was just like, hey, you've got the podcast and golf and this and that. And you're like, all right, I guess one thing's got to give. And I think I looked at everything I got going on, and I was like, well, golf brings me the least value and the most frustration.
Absolutely.
So one thing that my dad did for me, though, that was goated, shout out to Dad, is a couple years ago for Christmas, he got me a 6-pack of lessons at the PGA Superstore.
Really?
And that was very beneficial.
I bet.
It improved my already shitty game to be like impressively shitty.
Right.
Like,
you can get around.
I'm still going over 100 every time I play.
Right.
But every once in a while I'll swing it and it'll go dead straight.
Oh yeah.
And I'll chip unbelievably, or I'll make a really long putt where I'm like, okay, so the lessons did something for me.
Those shots are the ones that bring you back.
I'll tell you what, man, I've never struggled with chipping and putting. Like, it's just something that comes naturally to me. Yeah. Like, I can whip a good chip. I love a good chip.
Oh yeah.
Oof, especially when it just you chip it onto the green, it just rolls into the hole.
Right.
Oh,
a chip in. Yeah.
But getting it down there is where I struggle.
Yeah.
I just hook. And I know what I'm doing wrong, but I just can't fix it.
Right.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's
opening
one of those
up the club
things.
face. Yeah. It screws me every time.
It's one of those things, man. Everybody does it too. Like, almost every beginner or just like amateur has a problem with a slice or a hook. You know what I mean? So it's tough. For me, my irons, I can hit those pretty straight. Driver, fairway woods, things like that.
Yeah. It's not happening.
Not happening most of the time. I'll have a day where I hit them good all day, and then of course you tell the buddies, you're like, I got the driver figured out. Next time we play, y'all are in trouble. Like,
and then you whip it out and you top it, and it just rolls down the little
highway 85.
And they're like, right, figured it out. Right.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a struggle, but it's one of those, like, ultimately I go for the boys and the camaraderie and the fact that you can drink on the course and smoke a cigar maybe. And it's just a good time with the guys.
For sure. Until you get to the point where you can get around, that's what makes it even somewhat enjoyable. You know, I the first time I played, I didn't realize, I was like, I probably won't do this too much. Like, I couldn't really see this being for me. But you go a time or two again, and if you play like a scramble, like a team game with somebody that can get around, especially in your first like few outings, it helps and gets you into it a little bit more. Sure. And the drinking and cigars and that stuff, it makes it fun until you actually got the itch for it. So yeah,
it's one of those things that, I mean, once you get bit by the bug, you'll keep coming back. It might not be every week. It might be every other week. But my problem, dude, is I'd go more often, but it's just expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends always want to go play. God, where do they play all the time? They play cobblestone, of course, all the time, and I hate cobblestone.
It's hard.
It's not a great course for me.
It's not an easy course. It's beautiful.
Oh, for sure.
It's got some good views.
Absolutely.
But, it's a tough course.
But every time they're like, let's do cobblestone, I'm like, oh, no.
And you're spending $100 to get out.
Yeah. So, and it's like, well, I'm already here. Like, I make a day out of it. I'm like, well, I'm going to eat lunch. If I'm going to spend $100 to play, I'm going to eat lunch here afterwards. Like, I'm going to make a day out of this.
For sure.
I'll show up early and hit some balls. It'll be a $200 day by the time that day is over. Yeah. But I mean, one course that I've found to have some luck on is Woodland Hills in Cartersville.
I like Woodland Hills.
I like it a lot. one thing that we do every year that we might have to get you in on is we do a thing. We do all day golf day.
Okay.
And what we do is we'd usually go either somewhere in the summer months, May, June, July, August, somewhere. This year we did it in May, or maybe it was the first week of June. But either way, we will just book like 5 tee times over the course of the day and just play golf all day. Literally all day golf.
That's
day.
awesome.
Everyone usually will pack a big cooler. Right. And they'll leave it in the back of their car. And after each round, we'll just come back, restock the carts, and just play all day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's draining. I mean, last year we did it or this year we did it at Woodland Hills. We just played it back to back to back to back.
That's awesome. And
it was great. But by that last round, you're just fucking, you're angry. Everyone's pissy because they've been out on the course all day in the sun.
Right.
You're sunburnt to hell. You're probably drunk.
Yeah.
And you're just pissy.
It's not going your way anymore.
Oh God, you're either really pissed or just not giving a shit because you're wasted.
Don't care anymore.
Don't care at all. But then afterwards, we always just like go back to somebody. I live in Cartersville, so last year or this year, I was like, let's just go back to my house. We'll order some pizzas, and we'll just sit on the back porch, maybe set up the beer pong table, and we'll just play pong. And it's a vibe. It's a good time. It's good opportunity to. We always like unite the friend groups. Like, hey, you invite your buddies, we'll invite my buddies, and we'll just get out there and we'll just rage for a day. Awesome. And we'll just have.
And that is the small value that golf will bring.
Yes.
Is the social aspect and just connecting with different people. You never know who you're going to meet, you know?
Yeah.
So that is the one benefit golf has.
I've thought about like trying to like, of course, the business guy in me is like, we should monetize all day golf day. Like we should get like sponsors or like local alcohol companies to like give us free alcohol to like represent it. We'll shoot some content with it while we're playing, which is kind of what I did last year. I mean, you probably see me share Good Days on my feeds a lot, the canned cocktail brand. I met him around the time of all day golf day last year, and I was like, or this year, I was like, hey dude, like you should fill my cooler up with these guys. And he was like, yeah, I'll fill it up. You just got to shoot some videos and photos of you guys drinking them and playing with them on the course. And he was like, that's cool. And I was like, hell yeah. So I was like, next year we should get like, we should sell tickets to it. So like if we all want to play, we all pay $20 or something. Right. And then all the money, we could like make it a charity thing or we could just, we could do something with it. I was like, we should
There's always so many options.
My wife was like, you don't have to monetize your boys' day. Right. And I'm like, but we could. Yeah. We could all take something home. Right. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we will. Who knows? But
make fun the most important thing of it still, if it started as that. And then if other stuff if other stuff comes along with it, sponsorships or just brands you can bring out on the course with you. That doesn't hurt.
Like, if it paid for itself, that'd be a win in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, to be able to that's a hefty price tag to play 4 tee times back to back in one day. I mean, that's a $300 day. Yeah. Maybe more.
Right.
But then luckily, the more dudes we have that are game to go and hang out afterwards, the less expensive the pizza is going to be, because it's like split between like 10 guys and like what's $100 split between 10 people.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good time. Every single time the curse of doing this podcast is I do it with a lot of really cool people and I'm like, oh, they'd be fun on all day golf day. Yeah. So like this year, the first year we did it, it was like me and 3 other guys. But this last year it was like 10. Because I just kept inviting. I'm the kind of guy that just invites everybody.
Me and you both.
I'm like, dude, well, I got to invite Jamie. But if I invite Jamie, I got to invite Jordan. And if Jordan goes, Andrew's got to go too. Like, so I'm just like, keep it going.
For sure.
I invited my dad, my cousin, my uncle. I was like, guys, come out and let's rage.
Right.
And this next year.
Make it chaotic.
Dude, this next year, it's going to be like 25 people. I already have like a list in my mind of people I'm going to ask.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
And it just makes it easy because then we can just book the 8 o'clock, 8:07, 8:10, 8:12. 8:15 tee times. Yeah. And then we just have like 6 carts back to back to back.
Heck yeah.
And if you're in like that middle group, then you're good because there's people behind you that are with you. There's people in front of you that are with you.
For sure. Don't have to deal with anything else.
Exactly. It's a vibe, dude. We should have you come out for that.
I'd be all for it.
That'd be
awesome.
But yeah, I'm just bad.
But I'm not good either. I'm starting to get it together a little bit, but I'm not good yet either.
Well, if you aren't great, then you sell it like you are great. Like even
I'm
just
committed.
On your socials, I'm just like, damn, I bet this dude's good.
No, I'm not yet. I'm not, but I will be. That's one thing. It's such a technical game, and there's so many aspects of it. Like I said, I'm just consumed right now. So when I get a small obsession with something, I don't tend to let it go very easily. Right. So yeah, I'll definitely be locked in. And that way I have a very addictive personality, whatever hobby it is, like at the time, I'm like fully locked in, fully committed. So yeah,
I'm with you.
We did a little friends tournament on New Year's Day at Woodland Hills this last year. Yeah. Yeah. And so we had 3 groups of 4. And so we booked 3 tee times back to back, same deal. It was freezing cold, man. The day of New Year's, you know what I mean? So it's like 30
degrees. Yeah.
We were dying, but it was fun, man. We had a good time. And actually me and my partner, we tied for the win. So it was a small win, kind of a participation trophy situation, but small little win.
I have a rule amongst myself. It doesn't, no matter how much peer pressure is involved, excuse me, I will not golf if it's under 55 degrees.
Yeah, I'm probably that way
55, now. I can at least, I'll still wear shorts because I don't like golfing in pants.
Right.
I want to wear shorts as much as possible. But you throw on a nice pullover in the morning, and then as it warms up, take it off, put it in the cart. Yeah. But if I have to get out there and I have to wear like a hat for my ears, or gloves,
not because hand warmers in both pockets.
I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not going.
It was pretty miserable, but with enough friends, anything becomes fun.
That's true. Yeah. My friends, they have heaters in their golf carts, and I'm just like, bro, that's another level of. But they're pretty decent. Right. Like some of my friends are very decent at golf. Right. I'm so jealous. I am the bad golfer in my friend group, but that's okay. Right. I'm the comic relief. I'm the guy throwing out Happy Gilmore zingers the whole time. Yeah. Like
everybody was there once, so nobody can complain.
For sure. So, bro, this has been fun. A lot of golf, a lot of cars. Have you listened to an episode of Your Morning Drive before? Not putting you on the spot.
I have.
Sick.
I'm in preparation. I did. Obviously, I've seen your short form stuff on Instagram and everything for a while now. Yeah. But I hadn't sat down and listened to a full podcast. But I listened to one in preparation for this just to kind of get a vibe. And dude, you're killing it, man. You're really developed from the clips I was seeing when you first started this to what we've done today and your few prior to now. You've really came a long way. So
it's kind of you to say, awesome. Man. Yeah. Appreciate it. I'm hard on myself too. So when people compliment me, I'm like, oh fuck. But thanks. I appreciate it.
No, you're doing a good job. Even with the intro, man, you're killing it. So
cool. Yeah, thanks, dude. So what I do towards the end of every episode is I ask each guest some rattled off questions.
Okay.
They can be fast if you want them to be. They can be discussed in length if we need to, but for the most part, they're very fun questions. So whether I'm sitting across from, Michael B. Jordan or Chris Evans, right, I'm still going to ask them these same questions too. Guys, I want to tell you about another friend of my show, Your Light Marketing. If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur trying to figure out how to stand out in a crowded market, I want to tell you about Your Light Marketing. These guys are all about helping you create a marketing strategy that's true to who you are without pushing you to follow trends or gimmicks that just don't feel right to you. They specialize in helping people build custom growth plans around their unique story and mission. So if you're tired of trying to be like everybody else and you want to attract the right customers, aka people who really resonate with what you're all about, then this is the team to talk to. Go to www.yourlightmarketing.com to book a free strategy session with them. Trust me, they will help you build a plan that feels authentic to you and gets results. Again, that's yourlightmarketing.com to book that free strategy session call with them. Your Light Marketing. Number one, though, what is your favorite movie?
Ooh, I'm going to go, this is a little kind of probably going to catch you a little off guard. Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know why as a kid, got shown that movie way too young. Thanks to my dad,
Shout out Dad.
Absolutely scarred me for a while.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, that's my all-time favorite movie, man. Just Arnold Schwarzenegger and then all the other cast was just like
Carl Weathers,
yeah,
bro.
dude, he-men of their day. And I don't know, man, I've always been like just into guy stuff, guns, cars, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so like that movie for me, dude, was just like the coolest thing ever as a kid.
Dude, I saw in theaters a couple months ago that new Alien movie.
Okay.
And it was really, really good. So after that, I was like, damn, I've seen like Alien 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like this one, but I hadn't seen the older or like the prequels, like Prometheus,
Right.
some of the other Alien movies, and I hadn't seen any of the Predator movies
Right.
up until about 3 weeks ago. I binged them all. Like I watched
Heck
all
yeah.
the Predator movies,
Heck yeah.
some better than others.
Yeah, they did have a few rough ones.
Alien too. I mean, some of
Yeah.
the aliens are just like, God, what are they doing?
Yeah.
But Predator is a great time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
for
the first
sure.
time I was even like some of the CG stuff was very good.
Yeah,
I mean,
for the time. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, wow, this
absolutely.
is pretty impressive.
For sure.
But
yeah, that I love that movie, and kind of going back to being too young for it at the time. I was riding my dirt bike, dude, broke down in the woods, right? Ran out of gas or broke, something wasn't right. And so I'm sitting in the woods waiting for my dad to realize I've been gone too long and like come out there to find me. And I'm like, start looking around in the woods. Like, yeah. I'm like, oh no. But,
yeah, Predator. That's a good answer. That's one of my favorite things about this show is no matter all these other questions, people have somewhat similar answers.
Yeah.
But everybody's answer thus far for the what's your favorite movie has been different.
Right.
I've not had
any
same
doubles.
movie.
Yeah.
No doubles. Predator, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I was also probably shown that movie too early in my life, but I hadn't even like, I think it was just on in the background because
Right.
my parents or my mom really likes like sci-fi stuff.
Right.
So when I watched it for the first time the other day, it basically was my first time seeing it, but
Yeah.
I have very vague memories of that movie being on TV.
Right.
And I was just like, what are we watching right now? This is horrible.
Yeah.
But of course, watching it as an adult, I was like, this is badass.
Oh yeah,
this is
for
cool.
sure. For sure.
Rewind back to before everything. What was your first job ever? First time you were paid by someone else to do something?
First job was called SAS Black Ops. It was an airsoft field.
That's dope.
Yeah. And so, dude, for like a teenager, it was the coolest job.
Oh, for sure.
Weekend job. I'm still in high school. I'd go there on Friday and Saturday. I would host birthday parties for like private groups.
That's sick.
And then also there's a few different positions. So I could be like a referee one day, host a birthday party another day. They had a tower out in the field that was kind of like similar setup to this, you know, had a microphone, not to record, but just to project over like the speakers and everything for starting the games, playing music while the games would go on, you know, and I'd just be up in the tower vibing, you know, back in my Future era, and just bumping Future while everybody plays airsoft. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was fun, man.
Yeah, that is cool. Airsoft, man. Those were the days.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. We got in trouble too much though, because my brother went through a phase of like painting the tips black. And it'd be like, oh, can't do that.
Right.
Can't do that, man.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, we got in a lot of trouble with airsoft guns.
Yeah. Some of our neighbors
back in our
did
childhood.
not like it.
Yeah,
Ours didn't like
either.
it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Rank these three things in order of your favorite to least favorite: queso, guac, and salsa.
I love hot stuff, so I'm going to go salsa first.
Okay.
Queso, then guac. And I love all three.
That's a respectable answer.
That's how I would rank them.
I like it. If you were getting the electric chair tomorrow, what would your last meal on earth today be? Very morbid.
Just, steak.
Yeah.
Just a good steak. Probably like a ribeye or something. Medium. A little bloody, not too bloody, not too cooked, but probably just a steak, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe a sweet potato loaded with, all the good stuff.
What's your last drink on earth?
Ooh, just a Coke, normal Coke.
Yeah.
Coke classic.
Yeah.
That's my go-to now. I love soda, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it too, dude. I keep trying to shake it.
Yeah.
It's hard
for you, but
it's so hard.
Yeah, I love it, bro.
There's nothing better to me than like cracking open a cold can of
yeah.
soda, not even alcohol, just
Right.
soda, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Like
give
a
you
nice root beer,
for sure,
Dr. Pepper.
For sure. I can give you an alcohol answer too, but like when it goes like just selecting the last drink on earth, got to be a classic Coke.
Mine's probably a Dr. Pepper or a root beer.
Yeah, that's fair.
God,
that's fair.
Fire. I love soda. Fuck. You get to organize a music festival for yourself. Who are your 3 headliners?
That is a tough one, dude. I'm so all over the place with like the music I'm listening to right now. Like I was such a, I don't even know the word. I was definitely against country for like the longest time. And now in my, mid 20s, I have like fallen into a love for country that is like came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
That's just part of growing up.
I think so. I've really came to accept that because like listening to country with grandparents and parents and stuff back when I was in middle school and elementary school, high school, like I could not stand country music. And now, dude, I'm like, Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, like Morgan Wallen, all the, mainstream people I'm like in love with. And even like old school country, like Alan Jackson and like stuff like that, dude. I'm like
goated.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why I didn't like it for so long, but that's my vibe right now. On the other hand, though, I love hip hop, love rap, Future, all of Kanye, even like, dude, it's just such good music back in the day. So it's a hard answer to give. So
you're gonna have a very diverse music festival.
Yeah. It's gonna be so messed up, but we'll go with Future, and then Little Baby, and then we'll throw One Country in there and Zach Bryan.
Okay, that's a good festival.
Yeah, that's a good festival. That's a fuck up festival.
Hey, you're gonna get an interesting crowd.
Yeah, super diverse crowd.
Very diverse crowd. But hey, I mean, I'm here for it. Just last night, somebody was like, "What's your go-to music?" And I was like, "At this point in my life, it's probably country."
Right.
And they're like, "Wow, I had no idea." They're like, "Because every hip hop song comes on, you just know the lyrics." I'm like, "Yeah, I love hip hop."
Same.
Country is just like, it's relatable.
Yeah. It's hitting home more than it ever has.
For sure.
Now, so,
I mean, whether it's about a song about a relationship or just a day that you're at the pool with the boys, just drinking. I mean, country talks about the good stuff.
Yeah, it does. It does. It hits home, like you said.
It does. I mean, rap for me has always been about the beats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never been about the lyrics. I mean, sure, there's iconic lyrics out there that we all know, but I mean, it's just the beat and how it feels and how it sounds and flows. But for country, like I'm belting it for my soul.
Right. Country will hit you with something you need to hear, I feel like. And then rap, it just hypes you up.
Correct.
So
there's a time and a place for both.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Like Headed Out, I mean, actually, that's a bad one because it could go both ways. I was going to say Heading Out, like a night on the town with your boys.
Yeah.
You put on a country song, you might all be screaming windows down.
You throw on crazy. Some Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs, dude. I'm hype as I'm shotgunning.
Right.
I'm bashing a bottle against my head. Like it's time to rage.
Absolutely.
My bachelor party was in Nashville. No regrets on that. No regrets. I mean, and of course, on your bachelor party, you have to get a cowboy hat. And I brought a cowboy hat with me. I was like, I'm wearing this cowboy hat when we go downtown. Like, there's nothing you can do to tell me that I can't wear this cowboy hat. And it was fire. I mean, it was fantastic.
I haven't done Nashville yet, but I've got to do it.
Dude, it's a good time.
Everybody, my girlfriend's been twice, and she's like, it is the funnest town.
My wife hates it only because she's from Nashville. So when we think of Nashville as like this like cool spot to go to, and she's like, oh, that's home for me.
Right.
But dude, Nashville with the guys.
Oh yeah,
it's a vibe, dude. There are so many. I mean, the food in Nashville is incredible. Lots of fried chicken, lots of hot chicken, lots of really good stuff there. But I mean, every bar has a band performing in it. I mean, all the country stars have their own bar, like Luke Combs and Wallen and Florida Georgia Line and Luke Bryan, Jason. I mean, they've all got their own place, and they're all different, but so fucking awesome.
I bet. But
I
yeah,
love
I got to get up
country.
there. I got to get up there.
You'll fall in love. It's
I
a
bet.
great spot to be, and everyone's trashed at all times.
Right.
It's great, and there's live music and people performing that are very good.
Right.
Sometimes big artists will just do pop-up
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, that's what I've seen a lot on like Instagram and stuff. Just like
they'll just
big name pop into a bar. That's crazy.
yeah,
dude.
they'll just be recording an album down the street,
Mhm.
and then they'll just say, "Yeah, we'll pop into
Let's
a
go
bar
do it,
for
yeah.
a couple hours, and they'll just vibe. Maybe they won't even perform; they just vibe in the
Right,
bars,
hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's a
Heck yeah.
great time. I highly recommend it. Self-care. On a day that you don't do work, your girl's off doing her thing. This is a Jackson day. What are you doing for yourself on that day? Like, how do you heal,
Heal.
recharge?
Okay. Well, sleep is one thing. Just catching up on sleep, take a little nap maybe. Dude, I have muscle aches and stuff, go to the gym, back hurts, a massage, bro. Like, go and get a little hour massage, come home feeling loose, take a shower, and then go to bed. That's like the best thing for me, dude.
I've never gotten a massage, dude. Or I've never been to the chiropractor, never gotten a
chiropractor
massage.
as well. It's great, but dude, worth every penny.
Really?
Worth every penny. For me, at least. You'll leave, like, if you're having like lower back pain and stuff, and you tell them like, focus on my lower back, like it's been killing me lately, you'll leave feeling like a different man.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
My wife goes to the chiropractor pretty frequently because her insurance pays for it.
Oh, really?
And so she goes like every other week.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I need to start
It's
going.
good for you, dude.
And I'm on her insurance, so I can reap the benefits.
You need to go, dude. You need to go.
It's one of those things where I tell myself I don't have time to do it, but I'm real bad at prioritizing myself in my health, but that's kind of cheesily with us going into the fall and the winter and the new year. Yeah. It's like 2025 is going to be the year I like get my health back on track.
Yeah,
like
that's good.
Gained a little weight, eating bad, drinking bad. Like, let's get things back on track.
My biggest struggle with like health like that is I eat like a garbage can, man.
Me too,
and
dude.
I can't stop. Like fast food, like I just tear it up every day.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's probably, as far as like self-help goals, eating better is like the biggest thing for me, man. Yeah. So I can relate.
What are you treating yourself to, like on a night that do you and your girlfriend live together? Mm-hmm. So on a night that she's like, I'm out with the girls, dinners go get yourself something for dinner. What are you going to get yourself? Of course, it depends on your mood, but like, is there a spot? Like, I know if Catherine tells me like, hey, I'm doing something, do dinner yourself, I'm thinking like Five Guys, as expensive as it's gotten. Right. I'll fuck up some Five Guys, like just thinking about it now. Fire, or like some wings, like just go get like 10 wings from somewhere and just sit at the bar.
That's up my alley.
Yeah.
Just like Taco Mac or something like that. Killer.
Agreed.
I'll do that. And then also like if like I need to get in and out, like a Moe's Chipotle is a go-to.
Love me some Moe's.
Yeah. You can't go wrong.
Been a minute since I've had Moe's, actually. Damn.
Dude, Moe's Mondays, if you get the rewards, it makes it it's like half price, bro. It's killer.
Maybe I'm getting Moe's tomorrow, but I really want Five Guys now. Good answers. A couple serious ones. What does success look like to you?
Oh, freedom of time, being able to do not what I want when I want, because like, I mean, that's just reality of being a man and in this life. Like, you're always going to have priorities and things that you have to do, but just kind of one day, being financially stable enough to be able to take back my time is the biggest thing for me. I feel like in my DNA, I can pretty much be happy in most businesses. Obviously, like No Speed Limit's more of a passion thing for me, but if I can see a pathway to success, I don't really think it matters what the business is for me. So yeah, I think just the biggest thing is just like taking back my time, being able to provide a good life for myself, my family, future kids, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And like, classic sense.
Sure.
Like that's something I value high, so. Yeah,
dude, I agree. I mean, I feel like time is like, it's such a underappreciated or under-recognized thing. Yeah. It's like, bro, I could get to the point where if I'm working for myself, that'd be amazing. But it's like, I just want that time.
Absolutely.
Like the time to be able to do this, the time to be able to not having to ask someone for permission to take off time. Like it's like just being able to do what I need to do when I need to do it.
Absolutely.
Like scheduling your checkup like that you missed because of work. Like I want to not have to worry about missing an appointment because of work.
Right.
But time it's underappreciated, but it's what I need to. I agree with you.
That's what, they say with like debt, you're selling your future time for a material right now, materialistic product, right now. And so I think that's the biggest thing. It's just being financially stable enough to do what I need to do when I need to do it and not have to worry about outside things like, do I have PTO? Can I get off? What's my boss going to say? How's it going to affect the company? Just being in a stable enough situation to do that.
Absolutely. What is a hill that you're willing to die on? You know what I mean by that?
Expand a little.
Like a take that you will always believe in, but your friends might give you shit about. Like one thing that you might fight me on based on your answer about the death row meal is that I will always prefer a burger over a steak. I know it's controversial.
That's super
very hot take.
Yeah,
I understand.
Super controversial.
I know that. Yeah, I'm willing to accept it.
Die on that hill.
I will die on that hill. Another hill I hate. A lot of them are food related, of course, but ranch, just can't do it. Get it away from me.
Okay.
Get it away.
So this one, you might not know much about it, but I have a perfect one.
Okay.
The hill for my buddies and people that are into it, they know how I feel about this. So you look at the best UFC fighters of all time, right? There's a few names they toss around. John Jones, obviously, is one of them. When Khabib beat Conor McGregor and then defended the title twice after that, retired, everybody's like greatest UFC fighter of all time. I think he is the most overrated professional fighter ever, and maybe the most overrated sports figure of all time.
Wow.
I genuinely feel that way. And I've got the facts, like I have the literal facts, like screenshotted on my phone statistically about the records of the guys he fought leading up to his title fight, the guy he won the title off of, and then defending the title only 3 times before retiring. Yeah. An undefeated record is great, but I mean, dude, there's just so much.
Yeah, but it's different when you're undefeated, when you're only undefeated 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
If you've got a career that says you've been undefeated 20 times, okay.
Right. And he went 29-0 in his professional career, but 20 of those fights, he was fighting a guy like me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so there's take it with
my ass.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt on those. He got to the UFC, fought people that, I mean, just still not the level of competition a lot of people go through. Sure. And then when he fought top 5 guys, he fought 3 guys and then went out. So that's one I'll die on. And then my next one, I'll throw another one out here, and it's sports related as well. LeBron. People say he's the GOAT now. He's not top 5 for me. So
I can't wait to send this to somebody I know.
Jordan?
Yeah.
I think he probably knows how I feel about it.
Oh, so. He is willing to fight anyone to the death about it.
About LeBron?
Oh, yeah. About LeBron.
We back in the day, we'd play basketball and stuff, and I'm a big Kobe fan, but it's not even just because of Kobe I say that about LeBron. But yeah, we would chirp pretty good. So.
Yeah, he'll match your energy.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll go bar for bar with you.
I mean, for sure.
I'll give him credit. He has the facts also.
Oh, no doubt.
But some of the facts are bullshit in my opinion. I'm not even a big sports guy, but like MJ, you know, it's GOAT.
Yeah. Just
GOAT.
Literally. I mean, undefeated.
I mean, LeBron's a great athlete, but I mean, an incredible athlete.
Incredible.
But I mean, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ironically, Jordan should respect his name and respect the GOAT, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
LeBron.
Exactly. For sure.
I just kind of hate LeBron as a person.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, kind of
me too.
Fucking shut your mouth.
Yeah, me too.
Every time he tweets something, I'm like, God, get
out
away.
of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
What's your biggest fear?
Biggest fear. I mean, I guess failure,
Yeah.
I mean, that's broad. That's the biggest fear of mine. But I'm so self-critical and hard on myself. Like I feel like I won't accept it. So that's definitely the biggest fear, but I feel like I'm working hard enough to prevent that it just won't happen. So that's how I feel.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I agree. And then lastly, 10 years from now, where are you? What are you doing? How's No Speed Limit?
No Speed Limit's still around. It's probably, hopefully, and probably on a bigger level, closer to like Caffeine Octane, what we were saying earlier. Maybe it's developed into something bigger on like the content side of it, you know, like maybe we have a podcast.
Something you guys have thrown around.
Yeah. I've been talking about it for a couple of years, and it's definitely in the works. It's just, again, like I've said it a few times in this episode, but working on it and figuring out the formula as you go is the biggest thing. But I think, a podcast is something that could potentially be there, and then just growing the size of the events and stuff that we put on is the biggest thing. So I see that in the 10 years. I see myself probably at this same job 10 years from now. There's a lot of room to grow. We're kind of in a transition where the people who built the company are phasing themselves out and retiring. Mm-hmm. My granddad's kind of a part of that initial process, push. Yeah. He's still there. He's kind of like a consultant, does trainings and stuff like that and helps out, but he's on his way out, and it's just a lot of opportunity for the young people that they've put in positions now. So I think I would probably still be with the company unless, again, I am for hire. If something big comes, we were talking earlier, you can't turn down an opportunity that's too good to pass. Sure. But I could see myself there, and just because of the growth opportunity there is. But yeah, No Speed Limit's bigger and better things at the company I'm at. I'm finally in a place in my life where I feel pretty stable with the spots I am in and can see a future in them. So I think just bigger, close to what it is now, but just bigger and better. So.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Now, my friend, I'm going to let you talk to the mic as if you haven't already been doing that, but talk to it, tell it about No Speed Limit, tell people where to find you, how to support you. This will actually be dropping a couple days before this meetup that you're doing.
Awesome.
So if you want to plug that too, I mean, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X now, YouTube. Our is @1 No Speed Limit. No periods, no underscores, anything like that. We've got Rally in the Ridges 2024 coming up on October 20th. You can get tickets at the website, and that is www.nospeedlimit.club. We have merch on the website as well. You can find that there. And that's really it, guys.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Thank you for doing this, dude. I
appreciate it as well.
It's cool to get to know you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, maybe we'll work together in some capacity at some point. If you guys need help with starting the podcast, questions about equipment, questions about this, that, or the other, just feel free to throw them my way. I'd love to help.
Absolutely. You've been helpful before with putting me on with that Opus clip. So
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely.
You still use it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. $9 a month or whatever.
Hell
you can't beat it.
No, you can't, man.
Yeah.
And they keep upping like prices and stuff, but you're still grandfathered in because you got in at the good rate.
Right. Exactly.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so, yeah, like you said, I appreciate it as well. I enjoyed getting to know you a little bit. It's kind of been a long time coming. I know we talked about this off and on for quite some time.
It feels like 6 months.
Yeah, easily.
It could have been longer, could have been shorter, but yeah, it feels like it's been a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I appreciate you doing it, man, and being flexible on the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, I'll throw No Speed Limits information in the bio or the podcast notes below, so that if any of this sounds interesting to you, you can go on over and just tap or click on it and get right to where you need to go to be able to see the content, support them in any way that you want to or can. And yeah, like I said at the top, send this to one person. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of Nashville recommendations, a lot of Predator talk, a lot of golfing stuff, all day golf day, self-doubt, sales life. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So if you think that you know somebody in your life that needs to hear this, your friend, your parent, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your ex-girlfriend, somebody in their life that needs a new podcast to learn about people in their local community, send it to them. We'd appreciate it. And with that being said, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.